Hello everyone and welcome back to Speed Typing. In this video we're going to be talking about mechanical and membrane keyboards. My thoughts on both, what's better for your typing and all that coming up. First of all, mechanical and membrane keyboards, what's the difference? Very simple. Membrane keyboards are what you're normally going to find on a laptop or, for example, an Apple Magic Keyboard, or for example, Razer makes some cheap ones and you can get them, they're basically like the $10 keyboards from Target or whatever. Mechanical keyboards, the main difference is the switch. With a membrane keyboard, the switch is basically a sensor, whereas on a mechanical keyboard, it is a physical thing. It's something that you actually have to press down, and once it registers, and that's what sends the switch press through to your computer. There's loads of builders for mechanical keyboards. It's a big thing and a big hobby that's happening right now. And yeah, that's a mechanical keyboard. So the simple question I'm going to be asking in this video is, which is better? A mechanical keyboard or a membrane keyboard in the context of typing speed? And I have a few answers to this. The first one is, if you grow up using a mechanical keyboard, you are always going to be faster on a mechanical keyboard. Unless you're willing to spend 15, maybe 10, I don't know, less than that, getting used to the other keyboard. Like, you just have to spend the same amount of time that you did with the mechanical keyboard if you want to get used to a membrane keyboard. If you grow up using a membrane keyboard, you're always going to be faster on a membrane keyboard unless you're willing to put the time and effort into learning. Well, not into learning, but into spending the same amount of time as on a mechanical keyboard as a membrane keyboard. If not, you're going to be faster, as always, on either membrane or mechanical keyboard, whichever one that you grew up using. For example, as a typist, I always learned on like an Apple Magic Keyboard, and I will always be faster on a membrane keyboard. I get my personal bests. I can type the best on my laptop membrane keyboard. I still love mechanical keyboards, but that's what I'll always be able to type the fastest on. People like Sean Rona have always typed on a mechanical keyboard, so they're always going to be faster on one. He's much faster on a mechanical keyboard than he is on a membrane keyboard. With this in mind, what are the advantages and disadvantages of both? Well, the advantage, I think, the biggest advantage for membrane keyboard is basically speed, I guess you could say, because it takes less effort to press down on a membrane keyboard switch or key for it to register than it does on a mechanical keyboard. Now, it depends on the kind of switch that you have, whether it's a linear, tactile, or clicky switch for a mechanical keyboard, but most of the time, membrane keyboards are going to be easier to press and then get that letter back, as opposed to a mechanical keyboard. It's just simply faster. Knowing that, that's one of the biggest benefits of membrane keyboards, is that basically you can hit those keys faster. Now, the disadvantage of this is that you can be hitting wrong keys, right? You could be typing too fast. You could be much more inaccurate typist. Whereas with a mechanical keyboard, you actually have to press down on the switch, which leads to, I think, more accurate typists. The majority of mechanical keyboard users that I know are some of the more accurate typists that I know of. So yes, membrane keyboards, you can register your key press faster, whereas on mechanical keyboards, you can do it more accurately, even though it is slower. Now, on mechanical keyboards, I would say that they are much nicer to actually type on. I enjoy so much more pulling out my mechanical keyboard to start typing out stuff, however slow I may be. I just enjoy the whole process of typing much more than just pulling out my flat membrane keyboard. It's one of those things that mechanical keyboard builders will always try to explain, but it's basically, you feel much better typing on a mechanical keyboard than you do on a membrane keyboard, regardless of whichever one you're faster on. So at the end of the day, which one should you use? It all depends on which one you have used the most growing up typing, and which one you basically feel better typing on. If you don't care as much about typing speed and more just enjoyment for typing, I would strongly suggest getting a nice mechanical keyboard. If you are going for pure typing speed and you maybe grew up using a membrane keyboard, stick with your membrane keyboard. I'm not someone who is going to pick sides on this, but I would say that mechanical keyboards are very fun to use, and membrane keyboards also get all my high speeds and stuff on, so there's pros and cons to both sides. I hope that you enjoyed this video on mechanical and membrane keyboards. This was Speed Typing. I'll see you in the next video. Type on and type faster.